so many new people.
Woohoo.
They don't know what to do. Well, this is how it works. When you're around the table and you're on camera, you have to speak with a British accent. If it's your first time.
Only the new people.
Yeah, the
Well,
first.
I can say the British accent.
For your first time.
Skittles.
Skittles. You can say Skittles.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Just put bloody in
Ah,
front of everything.
you're not a first time person either.
You're right.
The first.
Like a first word.
The first thing I ever did was not a toll. I could always do not a toll, not a toll. So like I always had to make sure if I was in a conversation with you, I had to say no to something. Like, do you like pizza? Not a toll, not a toll.
Skittles?
Skittles, yes, not a toll.
That's a very well accent.
Welcome to Big Acronym, Season 2.
Woo.
Thank you, thank you. Way to clap, Riley, way to clap. These are all the people that were invited at one point in Season 1.
And 95% of them didn't come.
Well, because now we're in an area where they can, because it's either in the same town or there's free food. Or whatever it is that brought Morgan here, I don't know.
Well, New Year's happened a couple days ago, so really.
Yeah, I guess. And hello to Owen, who is just a scab, and no.
Put him right in front of the mic, too.
He's, well, you put the silent ones near the mic because you know that they're not gonna. Like, we wouldn't put the other Owen there because he'd be like making knuckle cracking noises.
Hey, I don't do that.
And we have Hannah and Abby. Hello. Thank
Hello.
you for the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
We stole
Thank
some
you.
while you
You're
were busy
coming.
making it.
It's a lot of business, especially for after hours. I was like, record.
Sure. That was an after hours record?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's good to know. We'll try harder next time.
You finally earned your parents' love.
While you were back making smoothies, we were grabbing
They're
handfuls
gonna be
of
so
coffee
proud
beans
when we get home.
and smelling them.
Yeah, she doesn't
I
care.
have like 6 pounds of coffee beans in my pants right now.
You didn't get them out of the candles, did you?
No.
You're not like- Well, I mean, we don't care, but you're not gonna
Those
like
ones are
eat the
old.
ones out of the candles, right?
Yeah. Right, I
they've
wouldn't
been
do
spilled-
that.
they've
Excuse
been
me.
Spilled on the table or whatever.
Yeah,
Just for
fun to
it's
play
just for decoration. That's pretty.
Fun to play with, not to eat.
We're coming to you. We're coming to you, not live, not at all.
Not a pole.
It's not your first time.
From Hunter's house. Thank you, Hunter, for hosting.
Woohoo.
Woot. We've had lots of pigs and blankets.
Like the whole container.
We did have the
And
whole
Abby
thing.
was in an improv game, and it was fun, and it's stuck in her head now.
Yeah.
Morgan, hello. Welcome back.
Hi.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Last time we saw you, you were making lemonade. No,
No, it was at Los.
it would have been at Butler Springs.
Yeah, it was a
when we were
week after that.
No. Oh wait.
here. It would have
We
been
went to Los
Horns.
Cabos. Yeah, Horns was the
You
last
were at
one.
Horns, and that's the last time we saw Morgan.
The last time I saw Morgan, she was outside of this canopy thing, and I was enjoying food. And
Oh yeah, was it Ashley that went with us to Los Cabos?
I was there too.
Both of
Yeah,
them.
it was.
Oh.
Yeah,
We saw him.
Ashley
I-
wasn't
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I can't remember anything.
It's all good, Owen. It's all good.
I have bad memory skills.
And second week for Riley. This is the second recording for Riley to be here. Hello, Riley.
This is the third time.
Yeah.
Is it third? Third. That's right.
Wow.
But you've already said more just now than you did. Good to have you. And Nora's eating chips.
Yeah, she took the last bit of the guac.
I actually posted Nora's countenance video yesterday.
hey,
Yeah, I mean that was the last one that actually worked. Everything else after that was either like the video failed, or the live stream failed, or the internet got messed up, or we didn't do any video at all. The last one was just audio, and it was just me and Hunter and Rachel, I think, online for the very last one.
You know what I just realized? I really hope that Lucas didn't actually leave his house to try and find us. And we're here.
did you?
Well, if so, hey Lucas, good to see you, buddy.
Sorry we didn't tell you.
She did. She said she would text me, and she did not text
Okay, well that's good.
me. So.
All right, well.
She didn't text me.
So the first season of Big Acronym was all about 1st and 2nd Peter. We went through the entire 2 books of 1st and 2nd Peter, and it was fun. And I'm sure you don't remember anything about it anymore.
I remember
but
Cornerstone.
That was way into it. That was early into it.
Yeah.
Second episode.
I remember quite a few of them.
I remember Drunk Dead People.
I remember the shark thing.
Yeah,
Remember that?
yeah.
Countenance was one of my favorites, though.
Yeah, Countenance was nice. So the description I put up is Nora's birthday episode featuring Hitler.
I remember that one.
I was there for that one.
Yeah, that was a fun episode. So what we'll do, I really, like, it's so hard to get people to Amelia at the same time, and it's like, if we do it on a Sunday night, not everybody can go, and, like, it just makes more sense to just do, like, 3 or 4 of them video-wise, where you can have a whole table of people sharing, and then the rest of them would just be, like, me and Amelia, or whoever I am, on, like, Google Meet or something where people can chime in, and maybe there's, like, one video person on the screen at a time or something at most. And maybe not even on Sunday nights. It doesn't even matter to me. But instead of doing a book of the Bible specifically, what I think will be more fun for me to keep excited about it
Just for
would be
you.
is if each of you contributes a thing, and we take 2 of those things and combine them into one episode. And I don't care what the thing is, like anything. Literally a thing, a plate with
I contribute trash.
trash. That's a thing, okay? And then so somebody else contributes a thing, and then I pick 2 of those things, and I try to figure out a way of connecting them together, and then the people who brought the things together will all chime in the conversation if they can, and we'll talk about their thing individually, and then we'll talk about their thing combined with the other person's thing, and make a lesson out of it, no matter what it is. So it's like can you make a lesson out of anything thing? Sort of like show and tell with a lesson in it too.
But better.
So if I have them like a week in advance, then I could try to come up with a scripture that would reference it and whatever. So this will be the first example. Since you didn't know that, I created the 2 things. So there are 2 things for today. Yes.
Is one of them a crack?
Sort of, yeah. If we had a way of like putting your phones up here to show the pictures you took, if you want to share your pictures, or you could hold up the camera or something. If you had like a really good crack picture that you took, anybody got a good crack shot? I'm gonna see how my camera looks.
Wait. Finding.
Most of the ones that I took were
I'm
on
looking for my
camera.
crack.
I didn't take any.
Where's the one?
Where's it? Oh no.
If they email them to you.
They could. I wouldn't. I don't
I have a good one to show.
You're
Can
gonna-
I take it to the camera?
I
Yeah.
don't think that's it.
Let's see.
It's the Torres.
How is that
It's
crack?
not. Well, there's cracks in the road.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Here's
There's cracks in the road.
Everybody's
There's
got pictures of
problems.
Bobby. Nobody has pictures
This is a picture of a crack.
I took one.
Shout out to Bobby.
Yeah,
Because-
thanks for
Oh,
coming,
you
Bobby.
make sure
I am-
something.
That's awesome.
This is a picture of crack.
Oh, the guy running. Yeah.
This picture of crack.
So, I had asked you when we started taking pictures to find textured cracks, to find things in the town, like cracks in the town, because if you just Sardinia, it's not a town that you usually just stop and start looking for cracks. It's the town that you just kind of drive through, unless you're there to get coffee. And then you stop in for the coffee. But you don't just stop in the middle of town and be like, oh, that's an interesting wall. Oh, it's got cracks in it. Like it just sort of all blends together because it's not that big of a town to focus on any one part of it. So I wanted you to find the cracks because in a way those cracks are kind of beautiful, you know, because they're there. And well, there's one. Look at that. That's pretty, Owen.
It's the holes inside the old pizza place.
There's something beautiful about the small cross section of the thing. Like, okay, so you have like the big wall, and then you have the little crack in the wall. And the little crack is like the flaw, right? It's like it's the vulnerability in the wall, but you still see the wall as the wall. You know what I mean? Like there's something pretty about the flaw, you know, like that it has its own character and its own thing. And so I have some pictures I'm going to show you in a little bit when I get to it. But it's sort of on the line of the crack thing. It's not exactly the crack thing. This is more like the subtle thing that is kind of a mistake or kind of a pretty thing, but when you see the big picture, it's the opposite. So like the individual thing is kind of scary by itself, but the big picture is still, it's scary, but it's amazing. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like if you saw a crack in the Hoover Dam, there are cracks all over the Hoover Dam, right? But you don't know that there are cracks in the Hoover Dam because you just see the Hoover Dam, right? You just see big Hoover Dam. But the Hoover Dam has cracks all over. There's little bits of water just kind of dripping and drizzling everywhere. But you don't think about those because the dam is still holding, it's still doing its job. But if you zoomed in and just stared for a day at one crack dripping water, you'd go paranoid. You would freak out like this thing is going to fall, right? I mean, am I alone? And should I stop right? Okay, thank you. Good.
Every time I see a crack in a chair, I think, well, that's gonna crumble.
And that's what I want to nail down. So the scripture that we're going to read, Psalm 90, just verse 9. Don't look at any other verses. I'm going to highlight it. So just look at verse 9.
Oh, you can actually highlight it.
Yeah, I guess I could. Oh, no, I don't want to log in with something. There you go. Okay. All our days pass away under your wrath. We finish our years with a moan. Isn't it?
Yeah. Very encouraging.
You want me to read it again?
Yes.
Yeah, let's make
Okay.
it sad.
All our days pass away under your wrath. We finish our years with a moan.
Gotham.
Skittles.
Stole my line.
Oh, I did.
That's the only
Skittles.
So interpret that for me. Just that one. Don't look at any other verses. Just what do you take away? If that was the only verse you ever taught from the Bible, if the first person that teaches you anything in the Bible says, "I've got this thing that I want you to read. Here it is. Psalm 99. All of our days pass away under your wrath. We finish our years with a moan."
I never read the Bible again.
You never would. Like, it's all just gloom and destruction and horrible. And if you kind of scan through there a little bit, like you see withered and death and sorrow, like this whole chapter is kind of rough, but just one verse right there in the middle, it's like, well, what good is there? So God is wrath-filled and
Everything will just crumble away.
yeah, and the end of every year is sad and like what's that? You know? So that's your crack, okay? That's the crack. That's the zoomed in crack. Okay.
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 Thank you. Good.
I got that when they said, yeah.
Okay. This entire chapter of Psalm is Moses praying to God through their defeats and their agonies. Like when's going to be our time, Lord, is what he's saying. And so there's a lot of really, really rough verses like, God, here's a crack. Here's another crack. When are the cracks going to get filled? And it just kind of goes and goes and goes. This verse here, verse 12, is actually the verse of the day on Bible Gateway today. Teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom, which is a little bit more optimistic. It's a little more positive because there's wisdom involved, but you're still counting the days till you're dead.
Yeah.
And that's so like.
Wait, you guys don't do that?
Oh, I have a calendar for it.
Okay. Just making sure it wasn't weird.
No, you're good. So what do you take? What would you take from this? Is it okay to have this kind of emotion?
Yes.
No.
There's a vote for. Oh, got one of each.
Well, I would say there must be a reason for it if it was created in the first place.
Of a reason for Moses to say it, you mean?
Just like
Or-
the emotion in general.
Yeah.
There must be a reason to have the emotion if it was created. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist.
Right. So there's definitely a part of God's presence that allows for grief and mourning and cracks and stuff.
There's a time for everything.
There is a time for everything. Yes. Usually, though, we think about these verses like laments as we're hoping for victory. Like, I'm in my depth right now. When are you going to bring me out of it? I'm longing for the time that I can be brought out of it. This is my lowest point, God. Please bring me back up. Or I'm hopeful for a time when I can be brought back up. But it's almost, if you read this whole chapter, it's almost like Moses is thankful for the misery. Like, let me see here. Yet you sweep people away in the sleep of death. They are like the new grass of the morning. In the morning it springs up new, but by evening it is dry and withered. Like he starts the hope, but then no, it's over. No. But it's okay. We are consumed by your anger and terrified by your indignation. You have set our iniquities before you, our secret sins in the light of your presence. Like all these things we're pointing out, these are the awful ways that we see you that are scary to us and make us feel terrible about ourselves, but praise you for doing them.
But does that give the impression that they're God-fearing people?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, more so than any other people have ever been on the planet. That if you ever hear people use that phrase, God-fearing, like, there's a sense of awe about, like, God could crush me right now, and I'm nothing, and I'm scared of him, but that's power, and that's kind of cool at the same time. Yes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 9 people at the table. You should like talk a little bit. This isn't a sermon. This is so. Even though like everything is just doom and gloom, teach us to number our days. Teach us to think about the fact that we're not going to be here forever, so that we can see a little glimpse of you in that somehow. Like, there's worship even in feeling scared and miserable, like that it's still a sense of power. So here's the little crack, which is part of a bigger crack on the wall, but that wall is pretty powerful. So like this is like one layer, okay? This is one layer of a cake. It's a good cake. It's a delicious cake. But if you just look at that one layer, like, oh, guacamole. Like, I don't want guacamole on my cake, but the whole thing's like, oh, wow, hey, that kind of works. All the other layers are like, I don't know.
Tortilla chip.
Yeah.
And
And hummus and chocolate. But not all of it.
That chocolate smells funny.
What?
That chocolate smells funny.
That joke is not funny.
That chocolate smells funny.
Oh.
Although that joke is not funny works too.
I thought it said that's.
I thought it said
That kind of smells funny.
That chocolate smells funny.
I hear everything else
carpet.
now.
Yeah.
Carpet? That carpet smells funny?
I hear that kind of smells funny.
Chocolate's not funny.
Okay.
That chocolate smells funny.
Yeah,
So-
I heard it right.
I hear.
Your voice.
I'm going to show you some pictures of glasses. Because this is New Year's. And I'm sure you've seen, and you've probably thought about this. If you haven't, I'm going to make you think about this. At New Year's, when all the people on TV are wearing glasses that have the year, right?
Yes.
So back in 2001,
I remember when you were complaining about this.
it was perfect because you had 2 O's in the middle, and then you could put something on both sides of it, and it made total sense, and that worked all the way through 2009. like you could have, or 2005 or whatever, like you have two O's in the middle. But now we have stuff like this. It doesn't work. And that's even worse. Like 2019 just put over top of the glasses. Like, why even use glasses? You know what I'm saying? Did anybody else think of this? Like, because some of them will try to do it. Like I saw some this year where like
Do it in the 9.
the whole part of the
You could
9
have the
worked, but
2
it was
on this side. It wouldn't be the one in the middle.
no, they're not. Like you had it was
That
like
would seem so
it was
lopsided.
2,
though.
Yeah.
Like,
Because the 9 would have to be low, and
1,
the 1 would be
9, like that. And then there were some that were like 2, O, and then like the 1 was the whole, or the 1 was down, and it doesn't work.
Well, hey, for 2020, you could have the 2 on the side. The
Right.
O is the I. The other 2 in between the eyes, and
it's
the last
still
of
so
them.
lopsided. It's
It's,
glasses.
It's a little lopsided.
it's lopsided, but it still
So-
works.
Here's an article
There you
about
go.
it. For 2000s
How about
novelty
you just
glasses
don't?
enthusiasts, NYE, now just a stark reminder of better times. This literally is an article about those glasses. Ever since 2011, remembers the person that makes them, the novelty glasses have never been the same. In the 2000s, we'd have 2 zeros right in the middle of the number. Boy, those were the days. Nowadays,
Boy, oh
New Year's
boy.
Eve is just a stark reminder of better times. This ensuing crisis in the community has fractured fans of the glasses, with different members of the community favoring different designs.
This person
Some say Stallman favor a design where eye holes are carelessly placed in the middle of numbers which are clearly not zeros. 2011 was a difficult year. Meanwhile, others have tended toward glasses designs which don't resemble the years, and they're just meant to not depict it at all. And then she's like, if you think back to the 90s and 80s, it was all so wonderful and everything was in the middle and it was easy to do. Now it's just chaos. What about 2021? We don't have anything to work with there. And it just goes on. Well, my question is,
what if we
why
just,
glasses anyway? Why are we so stuck that we have to have glasses? Just put on a headband and write the year on it.
No, what if we do
People still buy
themed
them.
glasses? So instead of the years anymore, we'll just do a theme. So like 2017's would be like Harambe or something.
Okay, yeah, or like whatever the Chinese year is. It's like the year of the dog, you have dog glasses, whatever.
But what?
It's nighttime when the ball drops. You don't need glasses at all.
What if?
I did
What
wear
if we
them.
tattoo?
They're hard-
Did you?
Yeah, and they're hard to put on your real glasses.
Could you see,
There
like,
should be a whole
were
story
you
about
seeing
that.
stuff in your foreground that just messed you up?
It was like I couldn't turn my head. Or
Yeah.
Like they're pointless.
Somebody's gonna die from
There
those,
should be a
like,
whole
driving
story
down the
about
road.
people wearing glasses trying to
That
wear
topic
you
smells
can't.
funny.
Like,
Who-
we should
who wrote
protest.
that?
We
We
should
should
protest
protest
idea
that
for a
people with
story.
glasses can't wear those glasses. so.
By Ann Ding.
Okay.
Okay.
Anding.
Ann Ding.
That topic smells funny.
And Aiden Mullins.
Right.
Chowdhury Hurry offers one last flimsy piece of consolation. At least we weren't born after 2110. Because that would just be awful.
Right.
By 2110, we'll have contact lenses that have the numbers. It won't matter.
Projectors.
Yeah, a little laser beam shooting out. 2110, 2110.
I was gonna say that we could like tattoo the year to our arm, and every time there's a new year, we just get a different
You do
tattoo
that.
over it.
Or just tick marks and
Yeah.
5 of them, cross it out. And
You just get a knife, and you're just like, okay, that's the first.
Oh,
I don't understand why we've had to create the crisis that the numbers don't fit in the glasses when
She's
no
very
one has ever made a
serious.
law that we have to have glasses in the first place. That's just become the thing. Oh, we got to wear glasses with the number on them, but we can't decide on
I
universal
think
things.
the problem is it was such an awesome idea in 2001.
So now we have garbage like this where it's like, hey, here's a pair of glasses. Just write the date on top of
But
it.
also, when you take pictures at these New Year's Eve parties, then you can tell what year you took the picture.
Yeah, because nobody gets them printed with the little thing at the bottom
Oh,
anymore.
I
so
know. Yeah.
I guess there's that, but why not just get a headband?
As long
or
as they sell, people are still gonna make them.
Wear a t-shirt.
So let's protest. Let's start.
So-
It's all nostalgic.
Revolution.
We'll
so
start
Get
selling
that said,
t-shirts.
No
They
more
don't.
glasses. We're not buying them.
We'll
This-
start selling t-shirts that just say 2020.
this is a crack crisis. This is a small thing, right? So this is a crack, right?
Hey,
We still get to celebrate the new year, which is kind of the deal. Maybe we can't decide on where the hole should be to look through for the number, but we're all around to see it. You know, we're all around to look through those glasses to see it turning new year.
Yeah.
And that's the bigger picture.
we need the glasses for 2020 though. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could get them now and just have them ready.
You
Yeah,
can't
but 2 on the
see
top and a 2 on the
the
top. And
glasses.
then 0.
Ah.
Did you get it?
I should wear
Yeah.
that to
Did
graduation.
anybody get it? You know, you need glasses for
2020.
2020 vision.
Oh.
Oh, right.
That was
Yeah.
clever.
There will be
But you
something
don't.
about-
So
You could also have
I
2020.
have contacts, so
You could also
you
have
have
20.
20/20 vision and you have glasses?
Yeah. That doesn't make much sense.
you have to. You get the corrective lenses, so when you see
So
through
that
the
you
glasses,
can
they're
see
20/20.
20/20. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I see what you're saying. All right.
You could also have 2020
I see
hearing.
what you're saying.
I see what you did.
Okay.
I see what you put.
It smells funny.
It does.
So that's crack one. That's point one. And this is all inspired by me being absolutely miserable this year. Like this is 2018 was a really kind of crummy year, and I cried at New Year's because it was the first New Year's that I'm watching people celebrate, and like I don't want it to be a new year. Like I'd rather it not be a new year because now that it's 2019, it's not 2018, and everything that happened in 2018 that I want to hold on to, it's like now it's in the past. You know, it's like now this stuff is like people are going on celebrating it's a new year, and like I want to hold on, even if it's misery, even if it's a crack, I still want to hold on to the crack, and now I have to move on. So that's what led me to thinking about this. Like
Stop holding on to
I don't want to see the bigger picture. I want to focus on the crack, but the crack is being forgotten and people are celebrating. So that's the first half. So we're gonna bring up the halfway haiku and take a quick break. And I need to go to the bathroom.
The crack got coated
Did
over
coffee
with.
get to you, Sean?
It did.
The,
So
the,
here's your halfway haiku.
the crack got coated with.
Written
a
by
new
me.
paint.
If it opens,
It's working on
there
it.
it goes.
Do, do, do.
The ball always drops. Sad layers in life's moments. This year is your cake. Capital Y.
What flavors are those?
I don't know.
It's like
Probably guacamole.
I mean,
All right.
That time it smells funny.
Quick break.
I haven't watched it like.
Okay. And we're back.
we're back with the Tonight Show
There are no Andes.
with
Sorry.
Jimmy Fallon.
There's no Andes left?
I don't think so.
But there was like 2 boxes.
I don't think there were.
There you go.
We ate them all. Morgan, so sad.
There you
Andes
go.
have more at
go
home.
fast.
We have a lot more.
That's your brother's
Well, we're
rapper.
going to your house
We
next.
have. Alright.
All right.
We'll travel
So-
around, do for everybody's houses each time.
This is going to be the opposite, where the crack is the pretty part and the big picture is the bad part.
Oh, is that what she's holding?
So I have 3 pictures. This is just more for the fun of it. These are all part of a series done by a woman whose last name is Dalvo, I think. It's like Maxine Dalvo. Her and another guy did this series. I think it's called 354 Photographers. I believe is what it's called. I don't know that it literally is 354 photographers because I couldn't find 354 of these pictures. But these are like little dioramas. And so like they're like, you know, really intricate little, you know, hand painted and designed scenes. And so I've taken a crack from the diorama. And so you see the crack first, and then I'll show you the full, all the layers in a minute. So can you all see the, can you see it okay?
Yep, it's a smoking 60 woman.
It's a what?
It's a 60s woman smoking.
60s woman.
The
Okay.
woman leaning against-
I heard smoking sexy woman.
I said it backwards.
It's a nice, like it's like a, this like a relaxed
Do we need to
housewife
describe the picture for like the camera?
scene. It'll be on the video when it's edited.
Oh,
It'll
okay.
be on the screen. And then here's the full version.
Oh.
Oh. She's just commenting.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, how are we gonna fit your mama's Buick?
Yes, there is a Mercedes smashed through her kitchen.
Oh, wow.
She's like,
That's
oh,
a big
well.
crack.
Isn't that cute?
It's crazy.
Very
It is
fun.
cardboard. All of these are made out of cardboard. They're inside cardboard boxes. Good eye in noticing that.
Do.
All right,
do.
next one.
That's pretty.
It is. It's a nice street light.
Is it a crash plane?
Street light people.
Let me guess
You
the-
were here for that
Oh, is
episode.
Let
that
me
a
guess.
ghost
The
cart?
rest is gonna
Which
show
none of
like.
you were, because it was just our family.
Let me guess. The rest of it is gonna show like a car wreckage. No.
That would make sense.
This one's not as disturbing. This one's more just what?
This one is a person under a bus because that looks like a bus.
It's a bus stop. Yeah. I wouldn't show you. There's a couple of these that were not
You control with your
appropriate to
mind.
show because they were morbid, but these are they're just kind of creepy and weird. This one, there's a guy passed out in the alley and there's a dog like snarling at this little boy who's standing in the dark by himself, and some lady's just staring at him like he has no purpose really to be there.
He's not even in the crosswalk. I feel like a couple people in our group stood in the road like
Yeah,
that
a
today.
couple of my own children.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
But
No fear.
all these buildings are just cardboard boxes that have been turned into.
It's a waste of cardboard.
It is a waste of cardboard. Thank you, Owen, for ruining art.
Well, I mean, you take a picture of it and then
They could have used that for moving stuff.
and fire.
They may have fire afterwards.
Last
There's
one.
the streamers in the sky.
It is a wedding
There's two
reception.
pictures on that.
This one's
Aw.
actually called the wedding. So
Oh, it's pretty. Can't wait to see what happens next.
The bride and groom are passed out on the floor.
They're drunk.
yeah.
They looked at too much cracks.
Oh.
Oh no, she got stood up.
But is that like a bridesmaid?
There's
Because
already a broom
there's the
out to
broom.
like clean up everything.
It'd be white.
She's still there. Tell her to go home.
She's the only one left that didn't have anybody to go with. I'm not sure if these are supposed to be the people that got married, if that's or if those are like wherever this reception hall is. These people were already on the wall.
Maybe she's
above
just
it.
waiting on somebody to get out of the bathroom or something.
Or her Uber is just late. Or
Or she was in the bathroom and everyone
Owen's
left.
crying about marrying.
Alright, she went to the bathroom. Let's ditch.
Wait,
But
what
that-
does she have in her hand?
I think it's a bouquet.
I think there's a plant behind her.
that didn't
It's a
zoom in.
dude's after.
Do control
Did
plus.
she win the bouquet toss?
That's what it looks like.
And then the bouquet of flowers
It
died.
does look like an
in
afro.
hands.
She died like she will soon be.
Afro circus.
Let me see.
Yeah,
If it's a plant,
on the
not
floor.
holding it.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
She's not holding it.
She looks depressed.
Yeah.
You know.
All
So
right.
there's-
You
maybe that's
try
what she
your
said.
best, but you don't succeed.
I'm wearing this ugly dress.
You know, it could be one of those things where all the other tables in there are full, you know, and that's just
Hello,
like
darkness,
people haven't
my
sat
old
down
friend.
yet. They're going
It's
to the
just,
buffet
or
line.
it's just the
See,
two next
She's
to her.
tired.
But you're projecting it like this is a photograph of a real building. That's all there is right there. Like that's the box. That's everything.
I'm thinking outside the
Yeah,
box.
you have to think outside the box.
Really? Yeah, this one's the most like vivid. Like,
That did not work.
That was fast.
I like this one.
It happened in the
A lot of detail in that. Anyway,
The reflection there.
The reflection on the floor and stuff.
yeah.
Put
Well,
your trash here.
So they're either like professional photographers took the pictures of the dioramas that they made, or they let professional photographers make the dioramas. I don't really know how it works, but
But they exist now, so.
yeah, they do. And so that would be the opposite side of it, seeing a small section of something kind of upsetting in a way, where the crack is the good thing. So you put them both together, and you take the small thing that doesn't fit right, and you take the small thing that's just the glimpse of the bigger unsettling picture, and you say, this is all cake. Like this whole thing is cake, and maybe I don't know what 2019 is going to be, and maybe I'm upset that it's not 2018 anymore, and maybe I don't want to celebrate right at 12:01, you know, but even if I'm absolutely miserable for another whole year, it's still cake. at least I get to be miserable, you know? Like at
and
least
eat cake.
yeah. Like from Moses's scripture here, like this is Moses praying to God about his people finding something. May the favor of the Lord our God rest on us. Establish the work of our hands for us. Yes, establish the work of our hands. Moses dies before ever making it to the promised land. So his whole thing is a crack. Like even the part that's the cake is the crack, but it's still, for him, it's worth celebrating because his whole cake is the crack of a bigger layered cake. I'm using cracks and cakes together. I should be using layers.
I love it when there's cracks
His
in
whole
my
crack
cake.
is part of a bigger wall, and his whole layer, his entire layer, is part of a bigger cake. You know, like that his entire life was struggle and frustration, but his entire life was part of thousands of other people's existence, and that he's one layer as a bigger picture, and then that's a part of a bigger picture, and that even if we think that everything in life is crummy, it's still worship to realize that our sorrow has a place and that God is in control and that his power is greater than our misery. And that makes it okay.
I kind of get it.
Yeah, I don't totally get it either, but I don't think I'm supposed to. I think it's
Abstract.
it's okay to be sorrowful and in misery and to never think of it like, okay, well, I'm sorrowful now because eventually I'm going to be happy. I think it's okay to just recognize that our gloom is our gloom and that it's still cause for worship to be gloomful, that there's a side of God that allows for us to feel pain and misery and you know, it's not a reflection of him making us like torturing us to be miserable. It's just we have this emotion to feel, that it's there and it's part of what makes our cake our cake. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Anybody want to talk? Because I've been talking this whole time. This is not supposed to be a sermon. Thank you. Thank you.
She's trying to break the silence.
Like literally, it's been me just talking to a bunch of people nodding.
Yeah.
Not really a podcast.
You're full of mostly socially awkward people.
Yeah, that's why we're on a basement right now.
That's where you went wrong.
Anybody want to share anything about this?
Maybe you don't want to put that kind of chocolate on the cake because it just
It's
smells
so
like
funny.
I would still eat it even if it smelled funny, probably. Like
because it's
I'd
chocolate.
get past the smell and eat it anyway.
So it's just another layer that's not actually a layer of the cake. It's just an added layer, the smell, you
It's an
know?
ambiance. Yeah.
Yeah, but usually taste is closely related to smell. 'Cause you can't really...
Or smell is related to taste.
Okay, well either way, like if you...
Did you just say people eat dryer sheets?
I'm not a huge fan of the chocolate really anyway, but a lot of things I can get
For
past.
Christmas we did the swap thing and there
Yeah,
was
Play-Doh
bacon
doesn't
scented
taste as
dryer
good as it
sheets.
smells.
Was what was advertised on the box, but it ended up just being peanut M&Ms. So
Play-Doh doesn't smell
I like the smell of Play-Doh.
you can buy boxes that say random things. So
So basically,
should've
this
brought
could
it.
also be.
the thing.
Okay.
What? Yes, the thing.
So this whole thing could be kind of
Everybody-
summed up
thing-
in
What'd you say?
don't judge a book by its
The
cover.
box that says bacon scented dryer
And I know a
sheets.
lot of things
Like the
can,
other
but
thing.
like this.
We'll see after.
I think
We're
it's
gonna
probably
do two
more
things each time.
don't get ticked off if the book is bad.
I
Okay.
used to think you had to finish reading books. As of my elementary school librarian.
Like
What if
what?
it's...
Like
Well,
you have to
because,
read it
yeah,
all the
you
way
have to
through.
read
You
the
can't read
whole
like part
book,
of it and
even
then
if you hated
give
it.
up.
Like your
Even if you
heart
hated
would
it,
stop
even-
if you didn't finish it? Or
Yeah, you weren't allowed
Sorry,
to get any
normal
more books.
enough.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to
Is it-
return it or get a new one.
I thought that
It's
too.
a law that you have to. So
Yeah, before you could read any other books, before you do any other books.
if
Well, I have to do a
government
book project right now. I haven't
owns the
finished the
library.
book. So thank you. Now I know I don't have to finish
Oh,
it.
like the library won't allow you to borrow another book.
Well,
Yes,
this-
until you finished it. Like
How
you
do
get in big
library?
trouble.
How do they know?
Like dinner,
It's
you
just-
can't have dinner tomorrow until you finish it today. So you can have like Brussels sprouts from 6 weeks ago waiting on you. You go back in to read Charlotte's Web, like, oh no, you still got To Kill a Mockingbird here.
Yeah. Sad.
Hmm.
When
But
I
you
figured
don't
out
feel
that
that
you
way
don't
anymore.
actually have to finish
Hey,
books, I was
take
like,
the
oh, now I want to
Mockingbird
read
as
more.
well.
Yeah.
You
If
want to
that's-
read,
afraid to
you want to
start
read more
books.
portions of things.
Yeah.
If that's how it is, I would feel really bad because there's like a whole book series of like these shark kind of storybooks or whatever. I forgot what it was. That was given to me by my cousin, and I still like stopped in the halfway point of one of them and never went back. I don't even remember the shark's name.
I've done that before and then went back to the book like 3 or 4 years later and then read through it.
There's kind of a thrill to that. Like if you've forgotten that you didn't finish it and you find it later, it's like finding $20 in your coat, you know, and like
It's
it's
when
like
I
a whole
found
new
it.
thing.
We
You can-
purposely put money in our coats and stuff so we find
So
it
that
later
you can-
beside you.
It's like when I found $1 in my pocket, or it's like the 3 or 4
Oh, yeah,
times
it's like
that
putting
Nora
it
and I
away
have
for
found
whatever,
$20
you just
bills
put a
lying on the
couple dollars in it
ground.
and you get excited.
Well, what if you were like,
Actually, I found
kind of going along the lines with the book thing? What if it's like one of the 10 books in a series is just really dark and gloomy, just a bad book in general. You don't enjoy it. There's a big cliffhanger at the end. You know, just wow, that sucked.
Yeah.
But if you just read that one book, then you would think, wow, all of these suck. You know, I'm not going to continue on. But it's
Yeah.
actually just a piece of the whole
Like Empire
series.
Strikes Back, if you just started with that and didn't know.
You know, I
The
just
whole thing.
realized that none of
Is
this
that
would have
Star
happened.
Wars?
Yes.
Okay. then
That
I-
none of this would have happened if I didn't say this whole thing is kind of like don't judge a book by its cover, and then that led to this.
Well, and it along that line of thinking, there could always be a bigger series enveloping the thing that you're like. So like maybe the series of books that you read, 1 out of 5 of them is bad, but you have no idea that the author really has this huge story laid out of 5 sets of 5 books, and you're only reading 1 of 5 in the sets of 5. That's like an even bigger picture. So even if you read this whole section of 5,
Sounds like 39 Clues.
that there could always be a bigger thing to it. The cake could always be quite larger than you think
Sounds
it
like
is.
the Goosebumps series.
Oh, that too.
Sounds like a
And-
series of unfortunate
And that in itself is
I
like
quit reading that
realizing
series.
the magnitude of God to know
Go
that
ahead and read a
like
couple
it can
series.
Netflix
it,
shows
it can
better.
all be way bigger than we could
Netflix
ever
shows
even
better.
think it is. That even if it's misery for a century, it's not misery for a millennium.
Oh, I coughed and the lights went out.
Y2K.
I control the weather.
Y2K that we'd be able to wear.
Well, let's try it again.
glasses.
That was a beautiful moment when the lights went out.
So the power went out.
Well, we need to go have our middle before it gets too super late on us. So thanks for contributing to season 2, episode 1.
Hope
And
y'all come back.
the next video one will be
Look away.
the next group video one will be somewhere in like 2 months probably or so. And then 2 months after
We can
that.
plan another event.
That's fine.
Yeah. This
In the
time
meantime, the weekly ones, maybe Thursdays, like Thursday night, I don't know.
Ooh,
Sunday
pick on
night
me.
doesn't seem to work for everybody, so.
Pick me.
Thursday
Let's go to
sounds
Pittsburgh
good.
next
We
time.
could do Sunday night if it's like once a month or something maybe.
Let's
Yeah.
go to Pittsburgh for our next
Oh,
meeting.
To do an online remote, like everybody's listening in to one at the same time. I don't know that Sunday's the best day. Like there are people that couldn't do things on Sundays, but
You could alternate, do Thursdays and Sundays.
yeah, I could do all
Let's go
sorts
to
of different
If you're
Sabina.
only doing it once every couple months.
Let's go
do
Sabina for
Friday.
the next meeting.
No, to do the video one, yeah,
Friday
but
night.
weekly I could still do. We could do
sorry.
like an audio version weekly.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
then it doesn't matter. Night, except for not Saturday. So it does
Okay.
matter.
Paintball it is. All right, Nora wins. Okay, well, if it ever goes online, thank you for watching and
If it doesn't go
happy
on,
2019.
yeah, let's go get glasses.
Mm.
We should all
No
like
thanks.
get a pair and just pull them out into them.
Hindsight.
Ugh.